Yo, it's Indra. What are you guys saying today? I don't know if you know the feeling I'm about to talk about, but it's a feeling of being overwhelmed and slightly paralyzed by the infinite possibilities you can take your creative practice in. I just wanted to share my emergency protocol for when you're feeling this way. Hopefully you can extrapolate something from this and break out of whatever it is you're feeling and create something magical. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. Come on then. Step 1 is relocate. Leave your house, go somewhere that you resonate with, that can help unlock your creative ideas. I'm just going to my local park because the sun is out. I feel good there, I feel good leaving the house. I feel more free, so that already helps me. So I'm in my local park, and there's actually an intermediary step that I haven't explicitly mentioned yet. So let's go to step 1.5, which is pizza. By the way, the pizza is not just because I'm hungry. From my loose education in biology, obviously ATP is a molecule that powers every cell in the human body, including the neurons in your brain that generate ideas and think and sustain your nervous system, all of that. So if you didn't have that pizza, your body wouldn't be able to break down the simple sugars in the dough in order to power the cells in your brain. Do you understand? It's all important. I'm not just eating pizza for the sake of it. Anyway, the pizza was good. As you can see, it's all over my face. Where was I? Pizza secured. My brain is functioning properly. Now it's time for step 2, which is go analog. I carried this sketchbook with me everywhere I go, and I've got like 7 different kinds of sketchbooks, all for different purposes, but this is just my out and about just collection of resources, ideas. Obviously it's all good to have your laptop with your visual references and inspiration, but sometimes you just need to go analog with a bit of paper, or even the pizza box I just ate with. We can scribble on this. Whatever you find, whatever medium, as long as there's no interference from the outside digital world, you're good. So that's step 2. Time for step 3. So obviously the weather is not on our side. The weather's deciding to just be annoying, like, you know what I mean? It's just, you can't really anticipate this kind of thing, can you? So might have to move. So I'm back home now, and I wanted to show you what that little outdoor emergency protocol, what ideas it yielded. So here's the sketchbook, and basically where I always start is trinkets and gadgets that I've accumulated and collected over the course of the month, because I collect so much garbage. I don't know why I hang on to it, but some of it actually is very inspirational. And the idea that came about today was from this floppy disk that I don't even know where I got it from. It's basically the drivers for a mouse, for an old Windows mouse, when you needed to install drivers with a floppy disk. Don't watch the ink, my pen exploded, classic. And the second part of the idea came from a photo on my camera roll of this image of me when I was on the Piccadilly line. And I love the Piccadilly line. It's so Kubrick, it's so beautiful to look at, kind of creepy, but it's beautiful. And I wanted to explore sort of like what a day looks like if you were a floppy disk manufacturing employee, because these drives literally were the crux of the digital world not very long ago, and now they've just kind of been thrown aside and forgotten. The first part of the concept is the employee going to work on the Piccadilly line and the second part is sort of like loads of hard body modeling and clinking and engineering of the floppy disks being made. And I think you can read into it as much or as little as you want to, but for me, I think I just really wanted to make a point of how it feels to be stuck in the machine and regurgitate it out sometimes. Anyway, so before I go into giving a sort of a breakdown of my initial work on this project, because I'm not going to show you the whole project because I haven't made the whole project yet, but before I go into that, I just want to talk about the sponsor of today's video.
This video was sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community where you can pick up thousands of new skills and techniques taught by industry standard professionals and hobbyists. If there's ever a new skill or niche that you want to embed yourself in and explore, Skillshare is the perfect place to find curated learning materials all in one place. Currently following a class by Jordan Sondler called Visual Journaling and Drawing Your Feelings. And it's kind of the perfect class related to this video because she touches on loads of similar subjects to what I've been talking about today in terms of practicing vulnerability, which is one of the classes and something that I preach about a lot. Not being afraid to be raw and emotive on a piece of paper, which is important when you're, sketching ideas in the early stages of creative idea formation. This is a brilliant class, and there's thousands of other brilliant classes to choose from. We've got gardening, illustration, 3D design, crypto, like whatever, you'll probably find it on Skillshare. So if you're interested and want to learn a little bit more or check out Skillshare for yourself, then Skillshare have generously given the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description below a month's free access to Skillshare so you can pick it up for yourself and see what you think. So thanks once again to Skillshare for sponsoring the video. And what was I saying again?
So this is the start of the building process. I don't watch the way I modeled the tube carriage because I've just had a bit of a brain fart, and I will go back and do it properly. I've been roaming the PSX subreddit for like 2 years now, and I'm really excited to make a bunch of PlayStation 1 graphic-esque stuff, but the freedom you get with not having to worry about your polys or like having to be low poly is so nice. You don't have to worry about photorealism, accuracy, anything, and if it's done well, it's very tasteful. As you can see, I'm going all out crazy with the modeling here. Not really any specific direction or strategy. I just quickly googled what the focal length of the human eye is. I feel like I should know that, 22 millimeters. And yeah, it's all very rudimentary modeling stuff, nothing too crazy, but it's really relaxing, and it's just for me. Like, this is for nobody else. This is for me to enjoy and for me to like get into and have fun with. So yeah, this was really fun. So yeah, I then went to look at like maquette, which is also an Italian word, which means carpet, and there's loads of really cool history about the designers behind these maquettes. And I went obviously with the with the Bakerloo line maquette, which is interesting to see what colour it used to be. The colour it is now is a whole different story. But yeah, it's so nice when you finally get lights in the scene. It's so cool when everything is clay looking. Here's me working out the textures. I'm indexing the colours. Not that there were that many colours in it anyway, because it's so dirty. But here I finally get the UV to work and to like interlock properly, because there was weird stretching before and it was really annoying. Anyway, so here I'm duplicating all the textures all over the seats. Don't watch the back chairs. Close your eyes. Let's not talk about the back chairs. No one's gonna see them, so they don't exist. That's the main crux of 3D. I hope you know that. If you can't see it, don't do it. Like, I'm not gonna render behind a poster the dust that's collected between the poster and the wall. Like, why would you do that? No one's gonna see it. Obviously you can do it if you want to, but each to their own. What am I doing now? Yes, so I'm adding a bit more colour and texture. I don't think I went too ham with it because I wanted to experiment with using Unreal Engine, which it's been a minute. The last time I used it was for my computer graphics module in uni, which we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about that right now. Then I realised, oh, the windows are so much bigger than the chairs. And then I did something, and then the normals got messed up, and it kind of ruined everything. You win some, you lose some. If at first you don't succeed, try again, and continue to not succeed, because that's what happened here. Like, watching it back is quite traumatizing, to be fair. Yeah, you see how I just moved the windows, and then now I'm moving like the structure of the train carriage to match where I've moved the windows to, and then suddenly, you see all those white, yeah, you see all those overlapping, yeah, I messed it up, and here's me trying to fix it. It's unfixable. What am I doing? Yeah, basically going round in circles. I made the chairs bigger, then the base of the chair wasn't big enough, made the base of the chair bigger, and then suddenly all the proportions of the carriage are thrown off, and then having to like rectify all of that retrospectively, which is very long and annoying. Here I'm getting the UV maps exported so I can make some really bad tube ads. Well, woman, this woman has stared at me for every tube journey I've ever taken. She's always there, always needing iron. If you're still iron deficient, babe, then find another iron supplement, because clearly Well Woman is not working. But at this point, I bring it into Unreal, and it's not going well, so then I take a little break and go on mid-journey and try and create some textures, which also, spoiler alert, didn't go so well because I'm really bad at prompting, and I'm not the biggest fan of AI, so I haven't really put in a lot of effort into learning how to use it. But I feel like I'm missing a trick, you know? Anyway, so I quickly, while I was waiting for Unreal 5 to update, I was working in Unreal 4 because that's the last time I used it. But now that it's updated, go back into Unreal. And then I mess up the import like about 77 times. Then I finally get imported and it wasn't working that well, and then I import it again and it's kind of working better. But as I was trying to get all of my like render pipeline stuff to work, I needed a bit more time to properly figure it out. So unfortunately for this video, I won't be showing you how I figured that out because I'm yet to figure it out. And so I went back into Blender and added a bit of like noise motion and rendered that out, the first scene. But this is a mock-up of what I want the final to look like. I potentially want to make it a playable game, but this is when you're in a vulnerable state, when you're creating stuff and you feel downtrodden, downcast, and you're just not feeling good. You really need to just reduce the barriers to entry for yourself, and if something's hard, you would say, right, crack on with something else, and just give yourself the chance to still continue having fun, because the last thing that you want when you're feeling that way is to just have everything just not work out for you. Sometimes you just gotta know when to call it a day on one specific sort of trajectory that you had planned and take a new one, you know? So in the end, this is what I came up with for just sort of like my initial idea creation. And as much as I really enjoyed this, there's so much more that I really need to keep adding to it. But again, this is just a very preliminary sort of phase to kind of get me mentally out of that creative rut, and it's really helped. And these are my emergency protocols. Honestly, get outside, get some pizza in you, lock out of the outside world of all the pressures of social media and everyone else's brilliant artwork,
and just focus on your little trinkets, on things you collect in this life, and form ideas from things around you that you relate to and love. And then just try and have fun. So that's all I wanted to cover today. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all really soon. Ciao.